So you just got your shiny new Mac Studio. Well, maybe not shiny, more like matte aluminum. And you're deciding that you're going to get the Apple Studio display to match the Mac Studio. The only problem is the Apple Studio display costs $15.99, and that's for just the regular stand. It costs quite a bit more to get an upgraded stand, and that's if they're available and you can get them. There are many other monitors I'd recommend you check out before you go spend $15.99 on that brand new Studio display, as nice as that is. And one of those displays I highly recommend if you're into content creation is this, the Alienware QD-OLED display. The cool thing about this 34-inch curved QD-OLED display is that it costs less than the Apple Studio display at only $12.99. Shipping times are a little farther back since it is a new product as well. If I were to pick a display to wait on to get shipped to me, I would definitely choose this. And there's a lot of reasons why I would choose this QD-OLED over the Apple Studio display, and one is it is using the latest generation and version of OLED display technology, incorporating HDR True Black 400 and also HDR 1000. So if you're into content creation, and especially if you're into HDR video formats, as a creator, this is definitely the display you should get. This display is going to get much brighter. You can actually get this display up to 1000 nits, and also it covers 99.3% of the DCI-P3 color space. So for creatives, color accuracy is out of the box, perfectly calibrated in the factory to a delta E of less than 2. And the viewing angles on this are going to be far better than the Studio display. Now the Studio display, I have seen it at the Apple Store, and it is pretty dang good for a standard LED style monitor, but for content creation and being fully immersed in your content, you cannot beat creating on a display like this. Additionally, it has the industry's fastest 0.1 millisecond gray to gray response time and up to 175 Hertz of native refresh rate. Plus it has customizable RGB lighting on the back and 360-degree ventilation for better heat dissipation. Additionally, you get 3 years of service coverage. Thank you, Dell. I discovered that after performing a calibration with my calibration tool that this display actually did not even need to be calibrated. It was actually really good out of the box. The brightness level, everything about it was really good for content creation. So being able to have this wide of a canvas is kind of like having 2 monitors in one. And so if you've never tried an ultra wide, this is definitely a good first option. The other thing that is much better about having this display than the Apple Studio display is you have height adjustment on this display, and you also have a swivel option on this display. So in terms of just being able to move this display around, it's a lot easier to do that. I mean, if you're going to spend $15.99, you would think that you would have some adjustability with height, but you do not on the Studio display unless you pay that extra bit of money, or actually pay that extra ton of money to get the tilt height adjustment on the Studio display. And I think just in terms of immersion, there's nothing that beats something like this display technology. You're able to fully immerse yourself. Widescreen formats are the way to go, because the world we live in today is really forcing us all to be on our phones in a vertical format, and to me this is such a breath of fresh air to have a screen like this. It reminds me of a beautiful sunset. Definitely buy this display over the Apple Studio display. It is much better quality in terms of technology that's packed into this thing. If you're scared about burn-in, actually this brand new QD-OLED display actually has anti-burn-in stuff built into it, so it regularly refreshes the pixels so that you don't have to worry about that. The cable you need is this right here. It is display port, because this monitor doesn't have USB-C. So you're going to go display port to USB-C, and I'll leave a link in the description on which cable works best for this. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked today's video, and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the bell to get notified when I drop new content. I'll see you on the next